Welcome along to One Hub Racing Season 26 as we head to the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix. It is going to be a sprint weekend full of action. I know you're going to be absolutely excited to get going. Who's going to go on pole? We'll have to wait and see. Here we go then. We'll ride on board with our one of our championship contenders, if it will let me come on, of Senna, as you head towards turn number 2 and 3. Keep the car planted to the right-hand side. Oshi's got a qualifying ban due to the incident that he had last week, heading up through the gears, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th gear, heading towards the final section of sector 1, 6th gear on entry, and no, 3rd gear on entry, sorry, and now you go up through the gears, lift up through here, and I believe Senna had invalidated, so we'll stay on board with Marco as he heads towards turns 9 and 10. Clips that curve very nicely, actually, as he stays through into 4th gear. Heading in towards the 100-metre ball now, heading towards the final sector. The final sector is really where you're going to make or break a lap. So here we come then in towards the long straight, where I think we see quite a few overtakes coming up. This is going to get very, very interesting. 7th, 8th, all the way up into 3rd gear on the hairpin, maybe even 2nd potentially, going down. Here he comes then, and towards the final few corners. We've got our final few corners for Jason as he heads towards the final corner. He's going to set a lap where he's going to put him on provisional pole position with a 1:30.709. He was put into the driver's press conference the other week, and he looked very, very quick, and this pace has definitely shown it here at China. So well done to Jason for pulling in a very great performance. Quite a few invalidations, including from Axelot, which is not ideal because he invalidated, he got involved in an incident last week. So we got Jason from Marco, from Entity, from Craggy, from Casper, Callum Unarmed, Lukey, Rich, Curry, Jonas. Then we got Mike and Furious, your final. And then we got Oshi, Axelot, Nikita and Senna, who invalidated quite early on in the session. And that, unfortunately, is qualifying session done and dusted. No J. Cole tonight. His car has unfortunately broken down. So joining me tonight, last minute, we both had rubbish races, so please, let's hope P1 is just as great action. We've got Jamie. Jason is on pole. His first pole position in One Hub Racing. From his practice earlier on in the week, he's been looking quick.
It's very much DRS orientated, dominated. So what you've got to do is you've got to make sure you stay within that pack, and if you lose the pack, you're nowhere. But yeah, Jason, good pull from him. Obviously not had the best season so far, not really shown any pace really, but tonight he has, and let's see how he does in the sprint race. Great opportunity for him to get some much needed points in the championship.
Yes, Jason, of course, he was very happy in the chat. He didn't feel like he had a great season in general, and he thought that Qatar was going to be a great race for him. That didn't go down well, and usually sprint races like that outsider, like that outsider to do well. So I'm particularly interested to see what everyone does in terms of the sprint race. And I'm just looking at the pre-race interviews. Not many people have done many practice, a few laps of TT. Senna is happy when the sprints are over. Fair enough. Casper, I think, will be pretty happy with his result as well. Quite a lot of people are hoping for a good result. And the weather for the sprint starts off overcast and goes clear. And with luckily the bit being overcast, the tyre temperatures are not going to be as bad compared to when it's sunny. Jamie, your mic's on mute.
So yeah, it should be a bit easier, as you say, on the tyres, and yeah, obviously the mediums should be easily good enough for this sprint race, and not really much. It's actually been by far the best race tyre around there, so it's not sketchy like it was in Las Vegas, for example.
Yeah, Las Vegas was a bit sketcy, I think, towards the end. I think I know Casper binned it in Las Vegas in the sprint, but he went on to, you know, win the race and stuff like that. So anything can happen, and finishing in the sprint is just as important, because if you get a good sprint race result, the top 10 will be reversed. So if you start on pole, you will be starting. Well, if you finish 10th, you'll be starting on pole. But we do have 4 engine penalties, which we'll go through in just a moment. Of course, everybody will be starting on the medium compounder tyres. If I just turn my game sound down before we get the game stuff out of the way. So I think with Senna, this is huge for him not invalidating his lap, because you wouldn't want to invalidate a lap around the track, which I think, in my opinion, with it being a DRS straight, is so difficult for overtaking. And with him and Craggy in 4th place and Senna in 16th, that's going to be an absolute nightmare for Senna to get past. But we've seen people from lower down climb their way up in the sprint, so it's not over for Senna.
No, definitely not. It's definitely not over for him. And as you say, sprinters give him a chance to recover, and if you get in that top 10, then you'll be in a good position for the race. But yeah, it's definitely advantage to Craggy in terms of championship, and if you keep up his run of second places, that's something to keep an eye out for.
Craggy's always the bridesmaid, isn't he? He's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. You know, I mean, we want to see him win a race at some point. Could tonight be the night where he wins his first ever race in One Hub? I believe it's his first ever race in One Hub. I will have to check the stats on that one. 10 laps await our drivers. We'll go through the standings and pre-race interviews after the sprint, because we've got quite a bit of a while. We had quite a small gap between our race ending due to the safety car and, of course, us starting. So that's why we had to take a little bit of a break. But all 16 cut tires on the grid are weaving their tyres. And I think it's relevant around here, because you have to weave your tyres around any formation lap, especially around the track where it just takes so long to heat up. But luckily, everyone's on the same tyre. They're going to have the same advantage. I know if people are in a DRS train, they're going to be using less fuel. So see minimum fuels for some of the guys tonight, especially if they're running manual gears.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I run auto gears, and even I was saving fuel. So yeah, it's definitely a track where it's light on fuel, especially with a pack. You probably save about a lap of fuel in the race, if you have a pack or a race. So yeah, it's one of the easiest tracks on fuel on this game.
Yeah. We are going to have to wait and see what happens, as Casper and Lukey has invalidated. The camera is really far away from the final corner, so I'm going to have to go on board with Entity. Entity, I think, is a driver to keep an eye on for this sprint race, so we'll see what happens then. As here we go then, the 5 red lights are on, and we are racing here in Shanghai. Entity gets a good start, but Jason has an even better start. I have to stay on board just for a little bit as Entity tries and tucks in around the outside. There's a bit of contact as Entity's had made a bit of contact with Craggy on the inside, and there's already a bit of a pile-up in the background, and Jason's hit the wall. Oh, are you kidding?
Well,
Jason's hit the wall.
Oh, wow. So he was on the back with Senna. Senna's picked up quite severe wing damage from the start, so his progress is going to be seriously in trouble. So he's going to struggle to score points at the moment.
Yeah, he is absolutely heartbroken. Honestly, the commentator's curse is remaining to be seen here at the moment. But Marco's got a really good start at the front. Yellow flag with Furious, who's had a bit of an off in the turn 7. And I think that's what similar where Gabriel Bortoletto went off in the main race earlier on today. But luckily, he's got his car going. Hopefully, he should be able to catch to the DRS train then. Lukey doing very well in 4th. And with Lukey being one of those drivers taking their engine penalties this week, that's going to be crucial for him, because obviously if you get a good result in the sprint, you're going to be starting a lot higher than the other drivers who have got engine penalties to their name, as Lukey is getting a good run on Callum Unarmed, heading towards the hairpin of turn number 14. Here they come then. This is where we can have quite a bit of chaos in both the sprint and the feature. As we can see, Casper trying to cover off Callum. Callum is struggling on those medium compound of tyres. Mike's actually had a good start in the sprint race as well. He's already up into 8th place, and you're seeing that people are taking the right-hand side line a bit more because there is a bump near turn number 1 that these drivers have got to avoid, as Lakita going round the outside of Entity. He's passed Ivor Brim Mike as well, so Lakita is trying to make amends. He's another driver has got an engine penalty. Lukey looking very, I think he's got low straight line speed compared to Craggy and Marco, so Lukey can just use Craggy and Marco as a bit of a slipstream and use them to pull each other along, because we know that with the likes of Callum and Casper, they're very, very quick. So Lukey doing a great job at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. As I say, the front 6 knows how to pull away as Rich in 7th, sort of detached from his teammate Curry. So, yeah, Lukey's looking good. I have to say, he's had some really strong results past few races, and he's showing that he's capable of getting some really strong races. Obviously, he's got his teammate this week, so Ferrari are fighting a lone battle this week. But yeah, it should be a really good race. And Craggy is all over the back of Marco for the lead. So let's see if he can get it done down this straight, or is he going to just play the long game?
I think he wants to try and play the long game, but you never know, they might DRS each other, and Lukey, I think, could just be forced to sit back as Craggy keeps the lead for now. I do believe Craggy has won a sprint race before, but not the main Grand Prix, as Lukey's got a brilliant run on the exit of the hairpin. Is he going to try and go around the outside? No, maybe he tucks himself in. He would rather get 3rd place. You do not want to lose any DRS at all. The top 5 are broken free of everybody else from the pack, and that is not good news if the likes of Curry, the Key2 or Entity. Lukey has just set the fastest lap of this Grand Prix so far, as Lukey is trying to make amends. There was a bit of oversteer from the exit of turn number 5. Well, that was turn number 4. This is turn number 5. The King. I don't really know why that's a corner, to be fair, but they seem to be managing it all right. And bearing in mind, the front left do tend to give up the ghost after 6 or 7 laps. It goes up to 40-50%. So these drivers have got to be careful that they do not push too much in the corners as well. It's a front left heavy circuit, so they got to manage those tyres effectively. We saw that in the real life sprint as well. Lukey got a better run in towards the exit of turn 10, and this is going to be really good. If I were him, don't go for the move here. Just wait for the move heading in towards this back straight here. I think he's going to try and go for it. He has to, really, because he knows Marco's going to have the advantage with DRS. Lukey is as well. If Marco makes a mistake, it's Lukey's for the taking.
Yeah, definitely. But as you say, when you're in DRS pack, it's so difficult to overtake. Or when you hot lap on battery mode, and for the leader, it's quite difficult. But if you're like 3rd or 4th in the pack, it's just still difficult to overtake. It's so easy just to outbrake yourself and just bump into the guy ahead, give yourself wing damage. So yeah, it's not an easy situation for Lukey, Casper and co. And they've got to try and get themselves in a position where they're sort of 2nd place on the last lap, because you can't really defend DRS on the last lap. It's impossible.
No, you cannot defend from DRS at all, as Marco trying to go the up and over. Lukey's going to try and take advantage of that. Is he going to get 2 people into 1? Nope, he's not, but look at Casper. Casper's going to try and take advantage, and there's a slight bit of contact, but no harm done onto the entry of turn number 4. Casper could have a really good shot of winning this race if he could keep this up. Callum unarmed is right on the back of Casper. I think if he could try and do the ascend in turn number 6, nope, he is not. I think he's in a very good hot seat at the moment. So it's Craggy from Marco from Lukey. Meanwhile, Furious is out of the race. He's retired. I think he's been in turn 7. Oh, I think he's retired on track. I don't think you're meant to do that, so he will get a penalty from the stewards on that one.
No, it's against the rules. So yeah, it's against the rules.
Oh, Callum! Callum trying to go for it. Oh, that was close. Carry on, Jamie.
Yeah, it's against the rules, that, so obviously if someone reports it, you'll be getting a time penalty for that.
Yes, he will. We're almost halfway into this one. Callum unarmed. I think since he's got being passed by quite a few drivers, he has just been looking very racy. The toe's just so powerful. But look at this, Marco almost trying to go down the inside of the hairpin, but couldn't quite do it. I think if I was Lukey, I would just sit pretty, wait for a bit until you get to this next DRS zone. Mike has passed O'Sheen, so Mike at the moment, believe it or not, our P2 commentator will be on provisional pole position. for the feature race. But actually, no, he won't, 'cause he's got an engine penalty. Never mind. But at least we wouldn't be starting any further back, as we could see. Craggy's taking a beautiful line in the S's session, a really tight line. I think that's what they need to take at the moment. So watch out for this top 5 for the run for the win. Now we got Curry, who's defending from Entity and Lakito, but Entity's got to be careful, because otherwise he would run out of DRS as well, which won't be ideal for him. So Entity's just got to use the DRS effectively. Senna, not the race that he would have wanted. He's passed Jonas Ulbricht as he goes up into 12th position, as he now tries to go past Ivan Mike. He knows he's quicker. He's just going to try and do the up and over in towards turn 9 and 10, but he's not going to try and do that either. So Senna, he's getting a little bit frustrated. I'm starting to think maybe if Senna's got a default setup on.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, obviously, you know, that might be a thing. But yeah, obviously, the point of one-shot quality is so difficult. If someone rests early for the one-shot,
Yellow flag, that's Curry.
Big slide. He's dropped 6 or 7 places. He's down to 10th, and that may help Senna in his hunt for a points position and a pole position possibly for the main race. So if he can get these moves done, and his weekend will not quite be over yet, even though Craggy is winning, so Craggy will be gaining a lot of points, but Senna could have a great grid slot for the proper race.
Here we go. Senna's going to try and fight for this, as he's now on the back of Oshin, and we know what happened to Oshin in the last race. He does not want to get involved here. But let's jump back to our front three. They're absolutely loving life at the moment, as Lukey might try and do the up and over once again. Now, this is the point of the race where the tyres really start to give up the ghost. The tyres need to heat itself up a little bit, but the front left are really going to be graining on all of our drivers in the P1 tier. Turn number 6 they go. This is going to be a corner where they're going to have a lot of understeer, so having the line through here is going to be, I think, equally as important. I think at this stage you would rather work together to DRS each other rather than fight each other and lose quite a bit of time. So here we go then, going on into the exit of turn number 10, and I think Craggy is just going to hope that Craggy has just got to play the long game. Craggy is got to be making sure that maybe let Marco pass and just play very smart with the DRS chicken and know that he's going to have DRS heading towards this back straight on the final lap. I think that's what I would do. Here comes Marco, actually, on the back straight, heading in towards the back straight. Sorry, I get my words messed up here. There we go. So Marco up the inside, in towards P1 for now, and I don't think Craggy would have fought that at all there. But I don't think Lukey would have taken advantage of that either. So there we go then, as we head to the start of lap 7 of 10 now, as everyone is on the same boat. Jason is going for fastest lap, even though it doesn't mean anything because you get no point to fastest lap.
No, but he's just having a go, and obviously he could use it as a bit of a practice session really for the proper race. Obviously in clean air, you can see how the car fails, but yeah, it's a shame for him off at the start, but he's got good pace, and he can definitely fight for points in the proper race coming up, as Lakito and Entity having a battle for 6, but look at Casper. Casper's going to send it on the outside of Lukey for 3rd place. Lukey's going to give him just enough space. Lukey gets it done, and he's got the traction, and Lukey sort of forces Casper out the way, and Lukey's kept it, but that's going to allow Callum a run at Casper. Callum, who's obviously won the race already this season, he's going to go for it. He's getting very close to that curb. It's quite lethal, the curb, but he can't do out by it. It's very difficult overtaking this section. Now, you can overtake in here, but you need a significant pace advantage, and these guys on similar pace are not going to get it. As you've got a spinner, that's Mike, who was in a buoyant position, but he's dropped out of it. That's a shame for him.
I've spin Mike.
A good sprint. Yeah, I have a brain Mike. Yeah, that's a shame for him.
I've a spin Mike.
Oh,
Get
I have a spin Mike, sorry. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a bit sore on the uptake tonight.
Yeah, if he spins, we like to call him I've a spin Mike. Even while his teammate is doing a lot better at the moment in P5. Casper, if I was him, I would go for the move right now on Lukey, but Callum has actually got a good run on Casper instead, so maybe this is golden opportunity for Lukey to really gain on the top 3 and gain time on the cars behind and break free of DRS. So these two can't afford to keep squabbling right now, as Oshin getting a position gain. I think he'll lose 10 places at the end of the sprint. Oh no! That's what Mr. Kick Salbers has had a moment. That is Rich.
Curry.
Oh, it was Curry, sorry. So yeah, Curry's dropped down into P9 on lap 8 of 10 at the moment. Casper is starting to lose ground on Lukey, so this is really, I think, the front.
There's a spin for Ocean. Ocean's had a spin, and that's going to allow Rich through the ghosted. Ocean had a half spin there, but actually
What has
managed to
happened
control it.
there?
Around here, you can actually, this track, if you have a half spin, you can catch it. You'd catch it. He didn't lose a place,
Oh,
but he was ghosted
contact!
with Rich. Yeah, Rich has got minor damage, I think, but around here, if you get minor damage, it isn't too bad. But because I had the whole race with minor wing damage, so it isn't too bad. So he might be okay with that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we saw that with Charles Leclerc, didn't we? In the real life Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc did not pit for wing damage either, because he would lose a lot of time. So yeah, having minor front wing damage here is not too bad. In fact, it's a good thing. She's going to gain more time on the straight, and there may be some parts of the lap where it will be a bit more stable, but Casper has just got to stay on this train now. He cannot afford to lose any more time. He has to work with Callum a lot. He cannot fight this. And look at this. They're just losing time by fighting. They can't do this. This is what the top three are doing well, is they're working together. Well, they're unintentionally working together to make sure they don't fight until the final lap. And because of that, Callum is now up into 4th, Casper down to 5th. Axelot and Rich, this is the fight for pole position for the sprint, the feature race coming up at the moment. And at the moment, it's all going Rich's way, but Axelot will be starting second. Senna's got a penalty. Senna is not going well for him either, but there we go. Things happen. We're on lap 9 now of 10. Marco leads. His last win, I believe, was a sprint race. Can he get another sprint race win and become a sprint race merchant? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that could be the thing for him. Craggy's in a good position here. I think Craggy is still my favourite for it, but Marco, Craggy, will he go for it this lap, or will he just play? Or will he play that chicken? And Lukey may fancy an opportunity here, so it could be in his front three, I think, as Jay has retired. He's had enough of his testing, and he'll be back for the proper race. But because he retired, he'll get a bit more engine wear on his engine.
Yes, that is actually, because if he retire lap 9, so it'll be plus 2. It'll be 2 times. So I think it'll be.
It'll be 18 laps. Yeah.
Yeah, 18 laps. That's not good at all. Especially with Jason already taking his engine penalty quite early on in the season, I think. Here comes Lukey. He's got a brilliant run. He's slipping on the slipstream, and if I was him, do not fight it, Lukey. Do not fight it. Oh, he's going to fight it anyway. Heading towards the hairpin, and a bit of contact, but he's just going to lose a bit of time, and Callum might fight back here, but Lukey to the inside, beautiful. All he's got to do now is close the gap to Marco, because all that fighting is allowing Marco to pull away, and he could be on for the race win here, as Craggy switches back around the outside in towards turn number 1, as Lukey tries to take the outside line now becomes the inside of turn number 3. Craggy doing absolutely stellar just to hold off Lukey, and all of this is allowing Marco to pull that gap, as Lukey has made a mistake, a little bit squabbly through the exit of turn number 5 there, but now he's got to. Craggy has got to send it. He's got to send it. He's got to be very brave and go for the move. Or will he just play it safe and stay?
He's got similar battery levels.
He got battery levels. Or will he play it safe, knowing that he's gonna start at a decent place in the feature anyway? He's still gonna get decent points because he's only gonna lose 1 point.
I think he's got to go for it. I think it's a tight championship battle. He's got to go for it. He's got to get as many points.
Because Senna's not going to score any points.
Yeah, he's got to try and extend his gap, because you never know, it might come down at 1 point. You never know, so he's got to go for it. If you got a race, the race win you have to go for the race win. One grid position isn't really a great fit, isn't really a great difference in this sort of race. So I think he'll go for it. But Marco's had a great exit there. I don't think he's got enough of a gap. I think he's got the gap.
I think he's got the gap needed. Yellow flag in the background. That was for Curry. I think Marco's got this race win in the bag, but he's going to try and cover off anyway. Craggy to the inside. I think this is a battle that is lost for Craggy and Lukey. I think unless Craggy could make it a photo finish, it is all on Marco. So Marco heading towards the final corner, and Marco wins again a sprint race. Craggy in second, Lukey third, Callum unarmed fourth, Casper fifth, Entity sixth, Lakitu seventh, Axelot eighth, Oshie ninth, and Rich in 10th. Rich will be on pole for the feature race coming up. Jonas just missing out there in 11th, with Senna 12th. But we have seen in P2 being quite a few safety cars. Senna could come back in this. I think Senna might start on the soft side, ideally, if you want to gain quite a few positions. And Mike trying to go for fastest lap, even though it's not going to mean anything right now. He just wants to go for glory points. Up to the line. He's going to get fastest lap. No, I don't think. 32.89. 32.9. So it was possible. It was possible, but look, he gets driver of the day anyway. But what a race for Marco once again. He just loves sprint races, but he's got to convert it to an actual race victory now in the main Grand Prix. But it's going to be hard, obviously, for him starting. Well, I think it's going to be not. I'm just trying to think who's got engine penalties in the top 10. Lukey has, and so has Lakita, so he's going to be starting 8th, Marco, with Craigie alongside him in the same row. So we've got Lukey, Callum, Casper, Entity, Lakita, Atslot, Oshin, Rich. Then we've got Jonas, Senna, and then that's the rest of your order. Jason, unfortunately, retired. Same with Furious. Who got fastest lap there? Was it Mike? 39.42. I think he did. I think he might have got fastest lap, you know. So Mike got fastest lap, even it means for nothing. So fair play to Mike there.
Yeah, definitely. Good for him. Good bit of confidence. I say great thing for Rich to be on pole. That's good. Good for him. Good confidence boost for him. First points as well, 1-up. So well done to him.
Yeah, first points for 1-up for Rich in his second race, which I have to say is quite incredible. So big well done. Obviously, we are going to have a little bit of a wait whilst we wait for the lobby to get going, and I'm going to lead the session so we can get underway. But whilst we wait for the session to get underway again, we may as well go through the standings before the sprint race tonight, just so you can have a rough idea on what went on, as Craigie leads on 112 points to Senna on 107, Casper in third on 71. Marco would have gained quite a bit as well. And then we got Entity, Lakita, Atslot, Callum and Armed, Kieran. Nick's not here tonight. He's in Malta, lucky thing. I hope he has a good time. Lukey's in 11th. Then we've got Malvin, Jonas, and that is the rest of your order. So I'm looking at the maths here. Yeah, Craigie will extend his championship lead because Senna has had an awful sprint race.
Yeah, very awful back of the grid, and he's about to damage the reputation for him really, because he's going to be stuck in a DRS train at the back, and I think he's got to do something funky on strategy to get back into contention. So you might see a bit of a Hail Mary strategy from Senna tonight.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if Senna still even gets a top 5 out of all this. It's still possible. He cannot afford to lose that many points, especially with a break week coming up as well, potentially. It would have helped if I got the right standings. There we go. Manufacturers, there we go. So, manufacturers for P1 tier looking as follow. Mercedes are comfortably leading by, I'm just trying to see, about 10 or 11 points to Aston Martin in second. Then we got Williams in third. Then we got Red Bull, Ferrari, Visa Cash App RB, McLaren, Haas, Alpine, and Kicksab. Kicksab are not scoring any points. So that is your order. Mercedes looking like the early favourites going into this, but with the key to maybe starting ahead of some of the engine penalty runners and maybe not that far off Senna, this could be a good chance for Aston Martin to close the gap on Mercedes tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great opportunity for them. And say Aston Martin have got a great drive pairing as Mercedes. So yeah, this is a great opportunity for him. And Aston Martin, Mercedes having a great time in both tiers this season. They're leading both tiers, so Mercedes having a good fun of it. But yeah, Aston Martin, I predict Aston Martin will close the gap tonight.
Yeah, I think Aston Martin will
close further.
Yes, I've just literally got an invite to the lobby. That's why I was kind of multitasking in a way as well. There we go. So those were your standings. That gives you a rough idea. But that was before the sprint race. And of course, it doesn't get updated until after the main feature race when all both tiers have concluded. So we'll obviously have to wait and see what happens. So let's look at the rivalries, because that was a very interesting rivalry between Oshin and Axelot. And they were asked, you both got involved in the hefty incident last week, and did you agree with the steward's decision, and is there a way things like this can get resolved in the future? Axelot is saying, quote unquote, a well-deserved penalty. Rarely see this kind of driving and behaviour here. It was funny that he called me names for putting him in the wall when his footage clearly showed that he just turned into me in the middle of a straight. His teammate then tries taking me out and then doesn't bother to show footage despite the stewards asking repeatedly. And I'm not going to say anything more because it's getting a bit spicy. Actually, no, I'll say it. McLaren is a rotten team here. Well-deserved penalties all round. So Atslot thinks that the McLaren just hasn't been driving that well this season.
Yeah. They've been the shoes all this season, the McLaren drivers. They have, and I think Axel, obviously, he raced at McLaren last season, and he's at Red Bull now. We know in real life, McLaren and Red Bull are a bit of a rivalry, and I think on this tier, McLaren and Red Bull have a bit of a rivalry too. So yeah, that is very tasty, and it could be popcorn moments again tonight, because I don't think Scorpion is that keen on the McLaren drivers.
Where is Oshin starting near Atslot again tonight, or did he? I don't even know at this point. If he does, then it's going to be quite a bit of fireworks at the moment between those two. That is going to be interesting. I don't think Oshin has responded to the rivalries, and that's probably he might be a bit too scared. I don't know. So we will find out in just a moment. And we'll talk about Jason's driving press conference in a minute. But people were asked about are they a tyre whisperer or not. Mike's answer is quite funny, actually. He's saying, I am a tyre whisperer. I'm constantly talking to my tyres like, don't you dare slide. I'll put you back in the pits. Don't tempt me. I actually find that quite funny, actually. But drivers to keep an eye on in terms of people managing their tyres effectively. Lukey's saying the front left. I think quite a lot of people, when we ask them, saying the front left, it takes it to beating at the moment. Casper saying real life in the game is completely different. I agree, due to the trap being resurfacing. Senna is going to be one to keep an eye on. He knows how to manage tyres, and he just wants to not let it cost too much pace if it's not beneficial. It's all about saving, especially if you're in the DRS train. Atsock saying he's pretty good on tyre wear, so keep an eye on him. So there's quite a few drivers to keep an eye on tonight in terms of tyre wear. So we'll watch out as well. I think every PS driver is now being invited to the lobby. So we will be about to get underway soon. As I will tell you the engine penalties for all of our... so I think we've got 5 engine penalties actually from P1. So we've got Lukey, Atslot, Callum, Lakitu, and Ivor Bryn, Mike. So those are your penalties. And maybe you got to get past in the first few laps for you to have your engine penalty really come into fruition.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry.
You really got to get past in the first few laps a lot of cars in order to not lose DRS if you got an engine or gearbox penalty.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You want to be in the, because I reckon there'll be about 2 or 3 DRS trains. You don't want to be in a back DRS train because you're just going to lose time. So yeah, he's got to have a good start. We have seen him make good starts in the past, and he needs one tonight, because if he doesn't, then he's going to be a bit screwed.
Yeah, he needs a good start tonight. Obviously, we'll go through your order in just a moment. And well done, by the way. I think we're just missing on one driver, and that's it. So it's not going to be that long before we get underway, and obviously we can go through a little bit of our sponsors. I'm just going to check to see if we've had a driver's press conference come in, and yes, we have. And the question, Jason was called into the driver's press conference saying, hello Jason, the season has not been the best for you, but you seem to be very confident heading into China. What makes this track so special for you? Now you're going to use that confidence to get some good results. And he said China has always been a great track for him. For me, confidence is high pace, is very good, looking for a podium or his first win. It's going to be hard starting from the bat because he had a chance starting from pole in the sprint, but you never know with Jason. Anything can happen on that regard there. I'll send you an invite, by the way, just to make sure you are in. But I think Jason's one of those drivers. In every tier, we always get a driver that gets really bad luck. I think out of all the tiers, Jason has had the worst luck out of anybody.
Yeah, he has. He's seems like the wrong in everything. Obviously, he had a lot of 13th place finishes to start the season, missing out on points. He has now scored points, but yeah, he seems a bit down on himself sometimes. I think sometimes he's got to be a bit more cheerful. And I've been in the lobby with him this week, and he seems a lot more cheerful this week. Obviously,
that's because he's good at China.
Yeah, it's a bit like me. I'm sort of good at China, and I think if you feel good around the track, then you do get confidence. And historically, he's had some good races on here, and he can still get a good race. I mean, it's not over for him. But it would have been better if he maybe got top 10 in that
At least starting on pole. I think I saw an Alpine like go off, and I was hoping it wasn't Jason, and it was Jason. And it'll be interesting to hear his thoughts, like in the chat as well. He had cold tyres at the start, so he didn't warm them up enough, and he's going for a laughter first. Yes, he is going for a laughter first. And we got Nick in the chat. He is watching from Malta. Hello, Nick. And at the moment, currently in Malta, is beer o'clock. So he's watching us whilst he's in a pub, most likely. So good on him. Shame he's not racing tonight, of course, but I don't think he would have liked China anyway. But he will be back in Japan in a few weeks' time. I think that's everybody in the lobby, so we should get underway soon. Let's get our predictions for the race win then. I can't remember who's starting where, to be honest, so I have no idea, but I'm not going to go on a limb. Jamie, who do you think is going to be your top three tonight?
That is a good question. I think the top three will be... I'm going to go Craggy for the win. I'm going to go Casper second place and go Lukey for third.
You're going to go Lukey third. I'm gonna go for Luke. I'm gonna go for Lukey second. I have high hopes for him because obviously he's starting a bit higher. Actually, no, he's got an engine penalty. Never mind. Well, I'm just trying to think who hasn't got engine penalties here. I think I'm gonna go with Craggy first. Marco second. And I'm just trying to think who else will be up high up there. Maybe I was thinking Entity, but he always lose it. I'm going to go with Casper in P3. Yeah, I forgot about him. Casper in P3 is my prediction. Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the chat on who you think is going to be doing well in this one. Bearing in mind, we still got, I think, 5 more races after this one. We've got, I think, Japan on the 6th, and we've got Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, Miami, and then Belgium. So not a lot of time for people to get pretty much hooked in for the season, as the grid is being set up at the moment. Now, Rich is first race at One Hub Racing, and he's going to be starting on pole. Now, remember we've had reverse grids, and it's always an absolute nightmare with slow drivers on pole. Rich has got a great opportunity to fend off faster drivers in the first few laps. We saw Skrillex do that really well in P2, hold off a lot of faster drivers for quite a bit of time. What can we see Rich do here?
I think we see him score points. I think obviously last week he made his debut. I think last week he came in sort of last minute, so he didn't have much time to practice. I think this week he's had more time to practice. Starting on pole, it's huge for him because if he can stay in the pack if he can stay in the DRS trainer quick drive, that is going to gain him a hell of a lot of race time. So I think Rich should be on for some good points. And it's good to see him having a semi-strong sprint race.
Yeah, I think Rich has got a good opportunity, and if he goes on and exceeds expectations, then he shows that he deserves to be here. And I think even with the pace with the DRS, I think he should be good as well. I don't know why my mic is lower down. That is very weird. Hang on a second. I'm just trying to get my mic in the good position. I might have to put it up like this, but that means I probably won't be able to see very much. But the grid is set, so that means the drivers will be readying up. So that's a good chance to go through our sponsors and prizes, sponsored by Next Level Racing. Here are some of the prizes that people won in the past, and I'm going to have to shout out to them. Also, they provided Nick a rig quite recently, and Nick absolutely loves it, so massive shout out to them. Pure Sim Gear providing a discount, 10% off all Pure Sim Gear products using the code 1HR10P. We also got a prize for Pure Sim Gear if the combined fastest laps and poles, the Speedster Award, will win a pair of Pure Sim Gear gloves or socks. Can't tell who's doing well with that at the moment. I will probably have a check later on tonight and see who's done well on that one. Then we got our partners, Vespertine, that are providing quite a few prizes this season, including the winner of Cam K's driver rankings gets a Pole Sitter Premium t-shirt. The winner of the Going Against Tough Award will win a Race the Dream t-shirt. And to do that, you attend all races during the season, complete all your pre and post-race interviews, and finish outside the top 3. And finally, our partners at SimGrid, who, well, without SimGrid, we would just be using it on Google Forms. It would be an absolute nightmare. So thank you to SimGrid. Without all of our sponsors, we obviously wouldn't be here today. So it's starting on overcast, then it's cleared, then it's overcast for the weather. So again, the tyre temperatures shouldn't be too bad. I'm predicting at least one safety car, and I think I know the stewards have had a bit of a talking to some of our drivers from last week. I'm going to predict one safety car and one BSC. What do you think, Jamie?
I think one safety car. I think the pack racing, you've got to get a few guys bunched up together, and tyres, you can lose the rear end here quite easily, so somebody might lose it and drip it into the wall. So I think we'll get one safety car. Yeah.
I think quite a few people would agree on you on that one. So to be honest, I think if China does not get a safety car, I will be very surprised on that one. So we'll obviously have to wait and see on that one. So we'll have a quick look at this track then. 28 laps await our drivers, 16 corners, 7 to the left and 9 to the right. First season Formula 1 back in 2004. It costed about $450 million, and it was at the I can't even pronounce the district, but it was one of the districts of Shanghai, and it costed about that to make. First vision of the Chinese Grand Prix came in the 1990s, and it only came back to fruition back in 2004. Michael Schumacher held the lap record for a very long time, up until 2024, where we saw Oscar Piastri do that in qualifying. And the last time Formula 1 raced here before last year was in 2019. It got cancelled quite a bit due to COVID, so that was a few information about that. So the most successful driver, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton is the most successful driver in Shanghai, with quite a few wins to his name, including a sprint win as well, even though he doesn't count towards his stats. But we count sprint race wins towards our driver stats because we're nice like that. So those are a bit of stats for the race. Jason is hoping to do a last to first. Senna, I think I would expect him to climb him up the order. Let's go through then your tyre strategy for all of our drivers here for the Chinese Grand Prix as we get the tyres up right now for you. As I will hide the track map. Actually, no, I'll keep the track map because Cam requested the other day that I have to have the track map on. So fair enough. So here we go then. Let's get the gameplay back up. So we have got a mixture of strategies. I thought it was only going to be most people on medium, everyone on mediums, but we've got Rich on hards, so it's Jonas, Curry, Furious, and Lakitu. I wouldn't recommend starting on hards, but if you are in a DRS train, it is not that bad because the tyres will come back to you once everyone else goes in pit. And you'll probably get screwed if we get an early safety car, but you'll just be very patient earlier on. So only use the hards, I would say, if you were mid-pack or near the back and you have nothing to lose. Rich has probably made the wrong decision going on hards, but I think Furious and Lakitu probably in the best position. But everybody else, they should have gone on mediums, I think. But then with Oshin, he's going for all guns a-blazing on softs. I'm not surprised that he's gone for softs. As I think Rich is pulling a little bit of a gap to Entity and Casper right now. So I think that's going to be very... oh, there we go. So you have to keep a relatively small gap to everybody on the grid. They have been warned by that from the stewards. So they are going to get some heat in to the tyres now, just like we saw in the real-life Grand Prix. I'm predicting Marco to take the win. And no, I think it was Craggy. I can't remember if it was Craggy or Marco that I predicted for the win. It was one of those two, and with Casper third. They're starting third, fourth, and fifth at the moment. And we've got Lakitu, Callum, Lukey, and I've been Mike. They're your engine penalties at the back. We'll see how they climb up. I'm expecting Lukey, Jamie, to climb up quite a bit in this race after showing some great pace in the sprint race.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to make good progress. But Ocean, the soft tie, now it's interesting now. I tried the soft tie in practice earlier. I couldn't get it past 4 laps. So, especially how he does on that. So that's one to keep an eye out for as we get ready for start. And Rich, it's going to be difficult for him to start these hard tyres because the traction off the line is not the best.
I think the first 2 laps is an absolute nightmare, but then after that, you just get into the swing of things a little bit. So here we go then, we are about to go racing. And again, it's the worst camera angle possible. So I'm going to go on board with Casper as the 5 red lights go on here in Shanghai. And for the second time tonight, we go racing. And Casper's got a really good launch up the line. He's past Rich, and he's going to try and get past Entity now in towards turn 1. He decides to back up, fair enough. But Rich is not giving up without a fight on those hard tyres. He's definitely not giving up here right now. As you can see, Craggy's made up a position. He's made a bit of contact with Marco. Senna, by the way, has probably had a good start of them all. He's starting in the back. He's up to 4th, trying to go up the inside of Craggy, his championship rival, in towards turn number 6. And I think he has to settle for 5th place at the moment. So the driver who I was expecting to climb up the order, he has definitely climbed up the order. Both Mercedes doing very well. Marco's dropping up and down a little bit, but he's gained past Jonas Albrecht. Lukey has had the worst start of them all, and he's been passed by everyone. Has had an engine penalty. But what a start for the Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, brilliant. I'd say superb. I did say Senna did a great start. He's absolutely has an absolute masterclass there. That is one of the best starts I've ever seen. It's a bit like when Senna started at Donington years ago, but obviously it's different in the game. As I say, Rich has done quite good. Keep 3rd place. I want to drop further down that, but Craggy and Senna, the 2 championship leaders, are battling each other now. They're battling. I never thought they'd be battling on lap 1, but Craggy gets it done, and can Senna get Rich done? Rich is still fighting. I give fair play to him, and Craggy's in 3rd place, but I never thought I'd see Senna and Craggy fighting at the end of lap 1.
I think Senna's lost quite a few places to that, and that's not ideal. And that's really helped Craggy a little bit. We got some damage. So we saw Furious come into the pit lane, so he's got damage. So he has to go on to hards, which can last for a bit a long time as well, as Marco tries to do the up and over. In towards turn number 3 they go now, and I think Marco's got this one in the bag. But I know those hard tyres will come back to Rich as long as he stays within that DRS train. Switch is, I think, doing a stellar job. Yes, I know he's dropped down to 5th, but he is a slower driver compared to these guys, and the longer that he stays in higher positions, the better, really. And he's getting really feisty. I absolutely love this. He just can't afford, though, to cause that many incidents, as Senna going for a really lovely move on Rich, and up into P5. Oshin on the back of Lakitu, as Oshin passes Lakitu for 10th place. What a great race so far for Oshin. As we can see, the gap now is about 0.3 of a second between NC and Casper now. P1 and P2. Craggy has dropped within DRS, and all that fighting has allowed Casper and Entity to break free.
Axelock spun round, so Axelock had a spin in the long corner. I think he might have had a tap, I'm not sure. I got the end of it, but yeah, Axelock had a pretty terrible sprint, and he's not had a great run there, and he's down to 14th place, and that's going to cost him, and he's not in a train anymore, so Axelock's race is effectively done unless he can get a safety car.
Yeah. Safety car, I think, could be inevitable at this point. Jason, by the way, has had a very good start. He's up to 6th. You can tell he loves this track, doesn't he? But he's got the car
there's a moment as well. I think one of the McLarens had a massive snap there, and that has caused a cluster.
That's Oshin. That's Oshin.
Yeah.
He's lost places to Lukey and Rich, so the positions are just changing like a madman at the moment. This race, I have to say, is quite chaotic, to be honest. This is incredible. These guys are making me feel a little bit better, actually, as Lukey tries to go up the inside, and Lakitu up into 7th place at the moment. So his engine penalty is doing quite well, and Jason's obviously started last, and now he's up into 6th place. Actually, no, he hasn't started last because he had no engine penalty.
Rich is in the gravel. Rich is in the gravel.
Rich is in the gravel after starting pole. This is not going well for him. I will not be surprised if we get a safety car at some point, to be honest.
Jay's up to 6th, by the way.
Yeah, Jason is up to 6th. So what could it be in a sprint race? He loves his track around it. He could be on for a podium still. He just got to try and close in within a DRS, because he knows that Lukey is winning, so is Oshin, and we know how Oshin has raced. The jurors have warned Oshin to be very, very careful. And with a track like China, where people can miss their braking zone quite a bit. Here comes Entity and Casper. Casper did take the lead a lap ago, and now Entity retakes the lead back. There's so much batshit going on that we completely missed the battle for the lead in lap 2. So sorry about that, but Entity takes the lead for now. Casper second, Craggy in third. The top 5 are pretty much running away with this right now. As we've had a moment, Jamie, what happened?
Yeah, sorry, I'm on Elgato in Ocean. These soft tyres aren't going off already. He's having every single traction zone. He's having a massive snap on as Casper's retaking the lead, I've noticed. So they're fighting at the lead. And yeah, I think Ocean will be in very soon because his tyres are gone already.
Yeah, Ocean will definitely be in. I think he probably underestimated going on to a set of the softs now. I think mediums or hards would be the best option. And even then, everyone that was started on the hard is lower down. So I think that strongly suggests do not start on hards with this grid, because there are some little sweats here, including a certain Nick that's watching at the moment. Yes, you're a sweat, even though you're not racing this week.
He's sweating out in Malta.
Yeah, he's sweating out in Malta. Yeah, so that counts.
I've got a theory why these guys are starting hards. Because the game, when you load into the race, the default starting tyres, Ocean spun it and that's him out the race, surely. No, he's managed to keep it going. He's managed to keep it going. Fair play.
That's what happened to me, Jamie. I thought I selected, I think, was it the alternate strategy where it did medium, hard, or whatever it was. And for some reason, I think I accidentally forgot to put it on that strategy. So I wondered the one who started on hards did me and forgot to change it to the medium strategy.
Possibly.
Or maybe some people did not want to start on the hards and see what they could do. To be fair, at this point of the race, once it gets to lap 6, the hards will be cooking. So keep an eye on Lakita in the next few laps, because I think Lakita could be back in this one as well. As you can see, Lukey's losing a bit of ground to the top 5, and he's got Jason for company now. And we got Jonas and Ocean in the pits.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Ocean's the pits. Jonas must have damage, really. He's pitted that 4 on hards. But yeah, it was Jay's all the back of Luke here. But Jason gets a big snap on, and that's going to cost him an opportunity down into this corner here. As he got Senna passing Marco for 4th place. So these front 4 have got a massive gap now. Look like a 5-way battle for the win here, because the Luke is 3.5 seconds back on the leaders, and he's not really gaining anything on them.
No, he's not gaining that much, unfortunately. But you never know. Anything can happen. We could see drivers make a mistake. We got a lovely DRS train from Callum Unarmed, Jonas Obritt and Furious. But those guys have come in after getting some damage afterwards. And I was going to say, if there was a safety car, they could go on hards. But I don't think any of them have opted for the hardest strategy. So that would probably make things quite a bit difficult for our drivers. Apologies if I'm a bit loud, by the way. It's too late for me to change the audio now. Identity to the inside. But look at this. Craggy going to do the switcheroo of dreams. Is he going to do 2 in it to 1? It's going to be difficult. This is going to be a good line to make if it works. Craggy up to 2nd place, and he's passed Casper. Casper said, yeah, I'm going to let Entity pass and get the DRS. Now he's probably made the wrong decision, and now let Craggy past him. Craggy is on a mission. He wants this race win.
Yeah, he does. He's desperate to get that monkey off his back. Casper,
I did a similar move
earlier. Casper, maybe help his team out here, because Casper still technically he's let Senna through. He's let Senna through there. That's clearly team orders there for the Mercedes crew. Yeah,
I think there was team orders there, which is fair play. Of course, Senna ahead in the championship. Casper isn't. But again, Casper still has a good chance to get 3rd. So it is not over for Casper. So, but I know Casper can still win the championship from there. Pretty much everyone can win the championship, unless you're near the bottom, I would say. Because you would need to probably win every race in order to do that. But luckily, everyone has a break week coming up, so they have a bit of a chance to settle down a little bit, just to be sure that they can get things operating in the right window. As I think we will see our first pitters either this lap or the end of next lap. I think we saw that in P2, didn't we? Where we saw, I think, the first ones coming round about either now or lap 7 for the undercut. So if I was to I think if I was to come in, I think one of the Mercedes will have to come in now. Would be the guinea pig and get that undercut. But none of them, they're all staying out.
Coming. If Lukey coming, Lukey likes cheeky undercut sometimes. No, he's staying out.
No, he's staying out. So I think I know Lukey.
Jason's in.
Jason's in. So Jason, the first driver, and I've had experience where we were doing practice early. The undercut is quite powerful. So there we go. So Jason comes in. I will not be surprised if he opts for the hard compounder tyres, or does he think that there's a medium strategy within him as well? Yep, he does go onto the hard tyres as Casper gets past Senna there. So I don't think that was team orders there at all. I think it was just Casper having, or maybe they're working together to make sure the likes of Marco and Lukey stay behind. So that I know they're in a Discord chat together, so they are working quite closely.
Yeah, definitely. But I do expect to see at least 3 of these leaders pit this lap. I think I pitted lap 7. I think the undercut round here is quite powerful. Yeah, these guys are getting DRS, but they're also having to brake so early because you don't have to run the back of people. And Senna is struggling a bit, actually. Senna has not had a great... Senna, I don't know what's happened to him. Is his tyres gone or something? But he's had an awful run through there. It's going to allow Marco to pass him down the long looping corner, and he is through. And look, a bit of banging wheels there. Wow, that was a bit sketchy. And Marco does get through. And yeah, I don't think Senna would be too impressed by that.
Nope, he wouldn't. I think Marco is now in a Mercedes sandwich now, and the Mercedes is hungry for more. And then look, Marco's lost DRS. And I said that in the sprint. If you're fighting too early, it's going to cost you. And Craggy is coming in. Senna's coming in, understandably. He doesn't want to lose that enough time. Lukey's in. Axelot. So a lot of people are pitting a lap earlier than we thought. I think everyone who's literally lower down is going to come in on the same lap because...
No, I think lap 7's a good time to pit. I think
that's what I would have done if I went on medium. If I started on mediums, I would have pitted lap 7 because otherwise you would lose so much time. But I think there would be quite a few people opting for mediums, quite a few people opting for hards. So it will all just be a mixture as we go on. Crai's the only one opted for mediums. Senna and Mike has gone for mediums as well.
Senna's changed his wing.
Yeah, Senna's changed his wing, understandably, yeah.
Oh, he said this, whoa, a massive drift there. It was like rally style. That is impressive how he held that. But yeah, that's one way to warm the tyres up. Senna is really struggling. I wonder if he's got wheel shoes again, but he had a massive drift through there. It was like watching D1 GP rather than F1, that.
Yeah, it looked like it, didn't it? It was just like Tokyo Drift there at the moment. I might have missed that a little bit, so I do apologise. But
yeah, it's quite impressive car control. So
it was impressive car control.
Not the fastest way to take turn 1 though.
Yeah, Craggy, by the way, is your net race leader because he got ahead. He's way ahead of Jason because he had that gap anyway. So his final stint before he pitted must have just been the just OP. So could we? I'm not gonna jinx Craggy too much. I'm really not going to jinx Craggy too much. As Entity comes in, so does Casper. So those two come in to the pit lane. Marco stays out. Well, I thought it would have been the other way around, but Entity seems to be the one who's getting preferential treatment. Or maybe they were planning this in the first place. It's Jason and Lukey side by side into the hairpin. And Lukey may just about have the edge there as Jason almost covers him off there. Lukey's up into 7th. Lukey doing very well. He's got to get that undercut right. Yellow flag. Can we see our first safety car? The answer to that is no. Jason trying to go down the inside. Oh, that was beautiful from Jason. Those two are racing very, very well. But they got to work together now to try and close into Casper, Entity and Craggy. Only 3 drivers have not done their first stops yet. Oh, a bit of contact from Rich Lakito.
Yeah, Rich obviously on the old tyres, but it's Craggy and Lakita at the contact there. But Craggy is through, and he is now in a very comfortable position. Obviously, he's got a massive lead, and he's out of DRS, so he's in a great position at the moment. But these Entity and Casper, I think they have to work together. They have to slipstream each other down the straight and just not fight, just slipstream each other down the straight and try and catch up to Craggy. And I can get DRS of Rich on this late, that will help, but they're not quite in that range of him yet.
No, he is definitely not. And as the track gets a little bit clearer, that means the tyre temps will be a little bit hotter. So maybe being on cooler tyres like the hards will probably be a better situation. as Marco comes in. That will be the key to just trying to stretch those hards. He's going to hope that we get a safety car, which will bring him back into this and because you will lose so much less time under safety car conditions. But Craggy is going to hope, no safety car. But unless he can go on hard.
Marco's in.
Marco, yeah, I did say Marco was in.
Oh, sorry.
And, front wing damage for Marco. Front wing damage for Marco. So he thought that the wing damage was severe for him to pit. So that's allowed the likes of Casper and Entity to be ahead. And Marco's dropped way down into 12th position.
Yeah.
That is frustrating.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake for him because I feel like he had good pace without that. I think he's lost too much time there. I mean, I had minor wing damage in my race, but I lost probably about a tenth or two a lap. But I thought it was not worth pitting. As these guys, I've noticed it. When these guys come out of pits, they're really struggling on the outlap. There's a few guys come out of pit sliding. They're trying it hard to get the tyre temperature in on the first lap. So maybe that's why the undercut isn't as powerful as it should have been. Maybe people are just struggling so much with tyre warm-up.
Yeah, I think they must be struggling with a bit of tyre warm up there just to make sure they get some heat into it potentially. So you never know what could happen. Mike's just got himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So I wonder how that is going to be coming about thus far. To be fair, he's in the points, but he may not be in the points very soon. 9.5 seconds.
Entity's got a run on Casper here. He's going to go for it. He's going to back out of it.
Fair enough.
Jason or Lukey, though. Jason's going to get Lukey here down the straight. These two have been battling all race.
They've been fighting, I think, the entire race. Yes, as Jason's got a good run into the hairpin. Can he make it stick, though, on the exit? Yes, he does.
Senna and Axelok are fighting. They're fighting in the last corner. Last corner's not a place we want to take as Rich finally pits.
Yeah, Rich is in. He's in the pit lane. Trying to stretch those hards for 10 laps. I think 2 more laps, and ideally you would come in to the pits. Or maybe you could stretch the hards out a bit longer than go for sorts, but again, you may lose the undercut.
May allow Senna into turn 2. Senna will get into turn 2, is he?
Surely not. This is not going to be the move that he's going to defend for his life here. I think he's going to... Oh, he's got a brilliant run. That was perfect defending from Axelot after going a bit wide there. And he's got Mike for company as well, who pitted on the same lap. To be fair, Mike is showing some very good pace right now. Shame about that penalty, but he's showing some really good pace in this DRS train. Near the likes of Axelot and Senna. Yes, Mike will have to go on to hards later on, but to be fair, the hards are not that bad as long as you get the setup right. So Mike doing a really great job.
Yeah, you just got to realise that you're going to lose a bit of time, but at the end of the stint, they do come back to life a bit. So yeah, he's doing a great job. And as I say, to stay with these guys, you gain half a second lap time, easy. So just try and do that. Try and stay with him as long as you can, and you find you pull a gap to the car behind because Oseen and Marco is obviously that wind damage has really hurt him. Look how far behind Craggy Entity is. He's a long way back. I think it was a mistake from changing wing personally, but no, that's my opinion. And obviously he felt different in the car.
Yep, he might feel a bit different. You'd never know, as Akito is the last person to come in now. He was praying for a safety car, which has unfortunately not happened. And he's now going to go on 2 mediums. I think a safety car... It was... Oh, Oshin's out.
Oshin.
Safety car?
Yeah, there's safety car, yeah.
Bad timing for Lakito. Bad timing.
Yeah, he's just come out the pits, but surely he'll just come in again and... he started in hards, didn't he? So he's sort of screwed, really. Anybody who's used the hard tyres, unless they're selected harder on that strategy, which a couple of guys have noticed, a couple of guys on double hard, then you are screwed in a way. So, yeah, this isn't... I don't think anybody really wanted to safety car at this stage. It's going to help Marco, though. It's going to help Marco come back into the race.
It's going to help Craggy because he could go on hard until the end of the race, and they can go quite comfortably to the end of the race.
Yeah. See, I always felt the medium was a quicker strategy, but the problem with that strategy is if this situation happens.
It is exact situation, yeah. We had the situation, didn't we? In the second safety car, where I think there was like... We were all on similar strategies. Bearing in mind, you on hards. I was on mediums, and we all had to use a final set of mediums for our second stop, and like we kind of wish it came out a few laps after, and then that would have worked wonders.
Yeah.
But there we go. The less we talk about the race, the better. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts.
Well, no, positive thing is actually drew actually a good pace, so carry that on to next season. But anyway, less about that. It's Peter's gone in. If it's what P1 now, and surely this pit lane will be like. It'd be like Piccadilly Circus at rush hour now, because all these guys will surely come out of pits. Entity's staying out. I don't really blame him for staying out. You might as well try something different. Lukey will surely come in.
They might get a final safety car. You never know. So Craigie comes in.
The guys hard are staying out, so they're going to go. This is going to be interesting because these guys on the hard tyres, they're going to get a massive offset at the end on fresh mediums. Sorry. So yeah, this is going to be really interesting. The first 5 have stayed out. The key to on the mediums, he has to restart because he's got no hard tyres left. So the key to the front. So you've got 2 different strategies in play here.
I doubt that's going to get.
Well, no, he's got to pit again. He's got to pit again. He's only 1 stop, but yeah, he can't pit. He's got no more hards left. No point pitting mediums.
Let me get the stop for you. So top 5 have not stopped twice. Neither has Rich. Everyone else has stopped twice. And if you have a 10-second, I will serve it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the right time to serve it. As you had 2 10-seconds. I don't know how that happened.
To be fair, one of which was speeding in the pit lane, and one of which was Leroy got front wing damage. I passed him because he pulled out. To be fair, I could have stayed out. I could have got it removed.
You could have got that removed. I think you could have got that removed.
Yeah, but to be fair, I would have got absolutely swamped by people on soft tyres. But yeah.
Yeah.
What can you do? What can you do?
I don't know. But anyway, let's
forget about the race. This race, I think, has been quite good, though.
Yeah, it's been quite entertaining. Obviously, when the safety car comes in, we'll have effectively half the race to go, because he'll probably get going at the start of lap 15. So it's basically going to become a 25% race effectively. So that's going to make it interesting. And I like this sort of the thing is the safety cars. When you get this sort of divergent strategy, it does make it interesting, because obviously Craig and Lakita would need to get into the lead on this restart. He'd be very aggressive. He has to overtake all these first 4 cars, because he has
Craigie's your net race leader as well, and Casper will need to get a move on as well.
Casper, Rich up to 8th place. That's quite good for him. He's actually had that moment, and the safety car's brought him back to play.
Mike's up to 9th. Stop the clock. Got the count.
Yeah, Mike's shown strong pace this week. I have to say, he seems a lot more on the pace this week, which is good to see. Obviously, he did have the spin in the. Yeah, he did have the spin, but his actual fundamental pace is pretty good.
He's not either spin Mike anymore, but saying that he might spin later on. So Mike, if you're watching this back, I do apologise.
No, yeah, it's a bit of an in-joke between you and J. Cole, I guess. That's what that is. Anyway.
J. Cole, unfortunately, car broke down, so that's what costed him a little bit, which was a bit of a shame.
He's in the pits, so he's going to come in and, I assume, put a set of hards onto the end, because he probably did that soft tyre to get his... You have to use 2 tyre compounds in the race, so... I assume he took hards on, I'm not quite sure. You can get means to the end from here, but it's going to be very sketchy. It is
doable, but I've seen esports drivers do it.
Esports drivers are aliens, though, aren't they? But yeah.
Yeah, let me have a look at the one-stop strategy. Lap 15. Safety car windows. Hold on. So. Yeah, I think the ideal lap would have been lap 15, pit for mediums to the end.
Yeah.
If it was a one-stop strategy.
You effectively get going lap 15, so it's only 1 lap more, effectively. The only problem is Curry's going to have to use his tyres up here to catch up the safety car, so he's going to put a bit of tyre wear on them, but we should be going this lap.
Yeah?
We had, in one of our races, we had a very late restart on the first one. It didn't come out till basically,
I noticed that.
Basically, I was at the last corner, and it sort of caught me off guard. I lost a place in the restart because I wasn't
aware
what was going on. But anyway, we are going this lap, and we'll see what Entity can do on this restart. See what he does. Will he go early or will he go late? Lukey, he's got a great opportunity to take the lead here if he can follow what Entity does.
Yeah, if Lukey can follow what Entity does, That will be so much more ideal for him at this moment in time. So here comes Lukey. And
Oh, a bit of a
Entity.
tap there.
There was a bit of a tap. I did see a bit of end plate lost from one driver. I might be wrong, but Entity leads from Lukey. But here comes Axelot. Through past Jason in towards turn number 1. Nicely done. The two Aston Martins are fighting for position as well. And Jason is like a bit of a roadblock at the moment. As Craggy on the fresher rubber is thinking, I want to get past now. But he's finding life a bit difficult at the moment on those fresh set of the hard tyres. Surely not he's going to do a send here into turn 6. He's going to take the really tight line. I think he's going to get past Jason.
Yeah, he's through.
Which he does. Mike's up a position up to 8th. Rich is down to 10th. Senna's down to 9th. So this is not ideal for him. He's lost a little bit of ground. Here comes Lakiti's having a bit of oversteer on the back of Axelot. And Lakita, don't forget, is on the fresher rubber. If I was the Aston Martin drivers, I would work together here.
Yeah, because obviously they're fighting for the Constructors' Championship, and they're ahead of both Mercedes at the moment. As Lakita, it's the problem with following the car so closely. You have to brake earlier because the guy had on all the tyres, so it's so difficult. But he's got a great one here. This surely is an opportunity to pass. Obviously, with no DRS in play, but if I was Lakita, you have to use a bit of overtake here, and he is. Not a great deal, but he's going to get slipstream, a bit more overtake, and he's side by side. Axelot's got half decent straight line speed. He's only been DRS, so Axelot has got glow wings. But Lakita, is he going to close the door here? Textbook move there into the hairpin, and he should be able to pull away. And look, and he's got to try and stay in that DRS Lukey and Entity. And yeah, he's through. Craggy, he's got a moment there. Craggy will surely have to go over here. Casper penalty, yeah.
Final corner. I think the final corner is the only realistic corner you can get a penalty.
No, you can get it. You can get it in the little corner as well.
You can get it turn 6, couldn't you?
Yeah, Axelot's at the big moment there. He's struggling for traction, and Craggy has got the superior line.
Here comes Lukey. Lukey's got a brilliant run as well on Entity. I think Entity's struggling a little bit on these hard tyres.
Yeah, Lakita he's gonna have to. They've got these two Astons. They're right on the leaders now. They're making great progress. As Mike's up 7th place, he's made a pretty good restart. Senna is on the back of him here. Senna, it's not looking too good for him at the moment.
Not too looking good for his championship.
No, he's gonna give up the lead here. He's gonna lose more points to Craggy as things stand. I wonder if the Aston Martin guys will defer later on, or they're gonna battle out for the race win. That's going to be interesting to see. But Lukey, he surely has the fancy guy. I've got the race lead here.
Yeah, even though Lukey and Entity will have to come in again, surely they're going to try their best to hold everybody up. And here comes Lukey, by the way. This is going to be the move for the race lead, almost certainly. And Lakita is going to try and do the up and over on Entity. And I think Entity was caught off guard there. And there's a bit of contact. And Lukey's like, thank you very much. I can stretch this gap now. And there's about 4 or 5 cars in the space of one corner trying to go for a move. Mike understandably lets his teammate through Callum on arms. Callum on arms can go to the end. Mike, I believe, has still got one more stop to make. Or has he done his 2 stops? Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Mike has done his 2 stops, so it's 4th position as Casper Klein goes up the up and over on Axelot. There he goes, up into 5th spot he goes. I'm just looking at ERS usage actually. Casper's on 30, Lakita's on 46, Craggy is on 29. Entity's got the best ERS of the lot, and Lukey's doing quite well as well. So I think Lukey and Entity, I think, are doing the best in terms of ERS right now.
Yeah, Axelot on Senna going to go around the outside here. This is a good overtake opportunity, and he's going to get it done. And Axelot doesn't really fight too hard. He knows it's not really his fight. And yeah, as on that last lap, Lakita was looking good to maybe have a run at Lukey, but he hit that curb really hard on the hairpin, and that sort of unsettled him massively, and that's made him lost 2 places. So they're going for the leaders who got, Callum. Well, that was very late on Axa, but he's going to get it done round the outside, and Axelot's not having a great race. He's really struggling. I don't know what's wrong with his car, but he's got no confidence in the car at all, and Callum is going to get it done down DRS straight. So I believe Entity's going for the race lead.
Yeah, Entity going for the race lead right now. Oh, Craggy could get the race lead as well. And there's a really rubbish camera angle, not gonna lie. And he's gonna try and get 2 cars into one. Same with Lakita. Lukey is struggling a little bit on older rubber, 9 lap old hard. He's lost 3 places in the space of a few corners. And Craggy's like, thank you very much. I'm going to try and get the race lead now as he goes to the right-hand side and towards T1. A bit of a love tap, but no can do. And then he's going to try and go around the outside. Lakita trying to follow the same line as his teammate. And he can take a title line, actually. It's going to be very, very risky, but NT is going to try and do all he can to do this at the moment. As Entity, Craggy, Lakita, Lukey, Senna, Casper are your order. As we can see Marco trying to get past Callum unarmed. A very tight line there once more. Mike follows him through. Mike's dropped down to 11th. Furious up to 10th. Furious is having a good race. He's got no penalties either. Might just get past him again, so those two are having a brilliant fight. We do have, after this lap, 10 laps to go, so anything can happen.
Yeah, obviously Furious was in a point scoring position last week, but he got a penalty. He got the points deduction. He's actually on minus points at the moment, so he's going to get in positive territory as Senna passed Lukey for 4th place, and Senna he's right with the Astons now, so it's not all done for him yet, but he's not had a great run through the long looping corner there. And
Yellow flag,
that
is Furious.
Yeah, I said he's having a good race, and that's what happens. Unfortunate for him, but
yeah, gets rid of the safety car notification that's there when we don't have a safety car on the PC. Oh, bit of a lock tap from Entity and Craggy. Entity, I think Lakita could have took advantage there. Will we see the lights of Lakita come in? Yo! Well, that was an unsafe rejoin. That was a bit of an unsafe rejoin there, but luckily he got together there. So he's going to try and go around the outside.
I'd have pitted that lap.
I would have pitted for hards, yeah. Oh, did he start? No, he started on hards, never mind.
There's no team goalers at Aston Martin. They are fighting hard, so they are hard for race wins. There's no team up at all.
Yeah, they're fighting for that race win, aren't they? They really are. And this could be good for the constructors, as you were saying earlier. And it's really, really exciting. Let us know your thoughts in a live chat if you're watching on Twitch.
Callum and Lukey. Whoa. I thought Callum was going to send it to Lukey, but Lukey on the wide line got the better exit. Wow, that was quite impressive. He got Marco and Axelock fighting, and Marco's got the lead. So Marco, he's had that change of wing. Safety car's brought him back into play, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. Last 10 laps, it's going to be hard to tell.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be an interesting last few laps. I think there's a lot that could go right, and there's a lot that could go wrong. So watch your space. Don't you dare tune out of this. Callum, here he comes. And Lakita goes for the lead as well. There's just so much going on. It's hard to keep up. So Callum does get past Lukey once again. And bearing in mind, the penalties may come into play as well. And you never know, we could get a very late safety car as Jonas, under the radar once again, at the moment could be scoring points.
Yeah, he could be. It'd be good to see him score points. It'd be good to see him. Good. He's had a low-key decent season, yeah. Good to see him in the front. As Lukey and Axelock come in, they're going to go up a bit clear air. They'll go on a set of memes to the end, and they could catapult off into the lead of their fight, of their train. So this is when we'll see the two strategies converge on each other, and this is going to be interesting. Obviously, they'll be a long way back, but they'll be a hell of a lot quicker on them fresh tyres.
Yeah, it is going to be a hell of a lot quick on fresher tyres as Jason. I swear to God, where's Jason going to get the luck? Oh my goodness. But there's some people that haven't done 2 stops, some people that have done 1 stop. It's going to be hard to keep track on this, but I've just had word from Catherine in the chat saying memes do 24 laps until puncher. But I think the ideal time will be about 10, 11 laps on the 1 stop. But yeah, you can last 22 laps.
Yeah, they can go that far, but we don't
I would not recommend it.
You just lose pace. I mean, they're good for 12 laps, 13 laps, 14 laps. But I think after that, I mean, you could do a sprint easy, which is 10 laps. So yeah.
Yeah, I would rather have more wear on the fronts than the rears, because at least on the front you're able to control it. As here comes Craggy once more on Ents. He's going to be free wide towards the hairpin. Free wide does not go.
Ooh.
Oh, a bit of contact there. Could this be a chance to bring Senna into the mix? No, but it does not. Senna stays behind for now. Craggy gets second as Lakita's in, understandably.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. Get out of that fight, because he's going to end in tears, I think, at some stage. Yeah, get a bit clearer. And the problem is Lukey and Lukey probably get a big undercut on him because they lost about 2 seconds lap by fighting there, I think.
Yeah, I think they lost a lot of time for that as well. And look at this, Jamie. A Mercedes 3-4 was something I was not expecting going into this. They have probably got a perfect strategy going into this because they've got both of their teammates that have done the 2-stop. One on hards, one on medium. Senna could use help Casper here stretch those mediums a bit longer and just break through DRS.
Look at Callum's come out of nowhere. Very confident.
Are they going to try and go for it? Very confident. Casper's going to try and bend it up,
he's got the inside line here. Yeah, there's good racing. You're giving each other room. This is what I like to see. Good racing. Look, Callum's got a great exit there. And he's gonna.
It's generally been good racing in P1 here.
Yeah, it's not really the best overtake spot here, but it can be done. And they're still side by side. They're giving each other room. I'm on board with Mark. I'm getting great view of this, and Casper has got it. He's got it covered, but Callum has a bit of a twitch there. It's going to cost him down the back straight.
Yeah, Callum has had a teeny bit of a twitch at the moment. Hopefully he won't lose that much time because of it. As we're about to start lap 22 of 28. We've got 2 DRS trains going on at the moment. So we'll see who has got this one in the bag and who has not.
Entity will surely pit now. Surely.
Entity's got, yeah, he comes in. So your race leader on track is Craggy from Senna. Your top 3 in the championship is your top 3 in the race. In that order.
Yeah. Look at his Mike and Jonas Ulbrook are fighting over 6th place. Obviously, Jonas will get it on the penalty, but 2 guys who
Mike is doing very well.
Yeah, 2 quite experienced racers here, not normally known for running in the top 10 this season. They're having a great fight here. It's good to see. Obviously, it's going to see how when the likes of Lakita, if the likes of Lakita catch up, because Lakita is over
DRS,
11 seconds back.
If you're not winning DRS, you're screwed. So
yeah,
as long as,
it's 11 seconds, so it's a big gap.
And I've been Mike, his halves could last forever. Jonas is, I think, if you're out of DRS, you're screwed. But if you're in DRS, just DRS each other to close in on the rest of the guys, and then you'll be golden. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. They
wouldn't want a late safety car because if you get penalties under a safety car, you will lose quite a bit of time.
These front 8 do not want a safety car because it's going to absolutely screw them over because they're the top 8. So I can't see Lakita.
Oh, you spoke too soon. Jay's out the race. Safety car. Commentator's curse for Jamie Matt.
Yeah, Mike. Oh, I know Welsh people who don't like safety cars. I've another Welsh guy had a curse there.
I don't like safety cars either, Jamie.
No. Yeah, surely softs. Everybody being for softs. It's a bit. There's going to be 4 laps racing at the end, so everybody will be in for softs.
Some people would risk it and stay out.
Or maybe medium. Maybe someone like if you got a fresh set of mediums, so you put them on. Maybe you feel like softs.
Mediums, like if you were to do a medium hard medium strategy, you would come in now. So mediums will be the best strategy. So if you have so if you don't have a spare set, Mercedes are double stacking.
Well, I think you have to really. You have to double stack here. Because if you stay out, you're going to catch a safety car. You're back, so double stacking is better than staying out.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why Mike has lost quite a bit of time as well.
Callum and Lakita on mediums, Ensis on mediums.
Casper, they're back in this race now.
Yeah. We've got racing in the pit lane between Rich and Axelot, and Axelot gets through akin to Sebastian Vettel in 2011.
Penalty. No, I was saying that we was on for a clear race up until that point.
No, if you've got a 10-second penalty, you just come in next lap and pit again, surely. That's what you have to do. Because I'm not sure if that'll get removed in the stewards. If you're at the back, you might as well just pit anyway and just have a clean slate.
Yeah, I think potentially you would have a clean slate, yeah. So everyone else done their 2-stop. I'm liking a mixture of strategies. I'm going to make my predictions known now. Look, I'm gonna go with Entity. Entity for the win, then Callum, then Lakita. They got the best tyres.
I think Lakita was going to win. I think Lakita. I think he can keep.
He started at the back as well due to his engine penalty.
Yeah, if he can stay with them front guys on the first couple of laps, then mediums that come back into play. So Lakita and Callum could be I think they're my two favourites to win because I don't think them softs are gonna. I know it's end of the race, but I still think 4 racing laps. It might be 5 race laps. We might get going this lap. The guys on softs do not want the safety car coming this lap. They want to go one more lap.
I think I think the safety car's going to be in another lap because look at the background. Atslot, Rich, and Fury still haven't caught up.
We had a restart come around here, so I wouldn't call it just yet.
No, it's not going to happen.
Car, so
no. I think one more lap. The safety car light's still on.
The soft guys there did a massive sigh of relief because I think that sort of saved them a little bit.
The softs are going to die though towards the end of the stint. I think we were quite lucky that the safety car was in very late, so we were able to use the softs to his full advantage. And because of that last safety car, I missed out on fastest lap. Because it would have been I would have got fastest lap without that, but never mind. Things happen. Things happen. Now it is getting quite overcast again. I think it was overcast, clear overcast, according to the adaptive weather system. So there we go. Again, massive shout out to our sponsors, Next Level Racing, Pure Sim Gear. Without them, these races do not happen, as well as SimGrid, our partners. Mental Health Foundation, it's good to talk. I definitely need a break week after this one. We will see.
I assume Axelot's going to appeal his 10-second penalty because he hasn't pitted, so I assume he's going to be in the appeal.
Yeah, I think so as well. Maybe that's what I should have done. So, that's what I should have done.
Yeah, yeah, I did that. I got cost me in a sprint race earlier this season, a 10-second penalty. So yeah, anyway, we're going to get going this lap, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to have 4 racing laps.
Yes.
So it's going to be interesting. So DRS will come into play on lap 26, which I sort of wish the DRS was still 2 laps, but anyway, that's what it is.
I wish you had 3 laps, you mean?
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get going now. Anyway, let's not talk about it, Mark. It's gonna go. And now, what sort of restart will Craggy do?
Let's go.
Is he gonna go early? Or is he gonna go late? I followed him.
That's a bit of an early restart.
No, he's not going yet. No, he's not going.
No. I mean, that's a bit of an early safety car call.
Yeah, I know.
It's a really early safety car call. We had one extreme when it came in late. And Craggy's going.
If you're Craggy, where would you go? Would you go in between the 2 corners, or would you leave the pit straight? Final corner, yeah.
Yeah, because you do not want to give people the toe heading towards the hairpin, and you have to wait until the safety car comes in the pit lane before you can go. And you can't overtake until the safety car line anyway. You're
not allowed to go side by side with one racing. I didn't realise that one. So you're not allowed to go side by side.
So if I was Craggy, just wait. I don't even know the speed, so I haven't got the telemetry on.
He's going around 50 miles an hour, so he's going to go for it now. And Senna's had a good reaction there. Senna reacted that very well, so
yeah,
Senna could be on.
Senna then, I think, has probably caught everyone napping, and the ones on the softs really need to get a move on here. Here comes Senna to the right, left-hand side in towards turn number 1. Now becomes the outside line, and this surely could be the lead here for these two. These are the championship rivals fighting, and I have to say these 2 championship rivals are showing pure respect. This is pretty much the only championship fight we're seeing, which is quite close at the moment in both tiers. As Senna tries to go around the outside. As Casper has overtaken Entity for 6th place, so he is loving life at the moment. I think Lakita and Kalaman will just be patiently waiting to see what can happen. And luckily they had more laps to get some moves done. As Senna tries to sneak through, but I don't think he's going to get DRS. As he almost had a bit of understeer there.
Yeah. The key have to look up there to avoid her in the back of the Mercedes, but he's all right now. He's fine. As we've got the Aston Martins and Mercedes at the front of the pack, and yeah, I think Lakita was in a good position here. He just knows. He's just got to stay in this slipstream, and he knows the last 2 laps he may have an opportunity here. So he's just got to play the long game here. As Senna is going to go for it on Craggy. No DRS yet, but a bit of overtake, a bit of slipstream, and he's on the outside line. Who's going to be last to late breakers? I think Senna is braking later, but Craggy's going to have the inside line. And
that was
Senna's
beautiful
look
from
at
Senna.
Lakita, these guys aren't.
Look at Marco.
Aston Martin. Yeah, Marco's up to 4th. These safety guys have helped out massively, and he is to 4th place. He could win this race. That'd be amazing after all the issues he's had in the first stint.
I think everyone has had issues in general. I think no one has got away unscathed. I think in this
Senna
year.
closed on Craggy there. Lakitu had to back out of it.
That was pretty tight. So at the moment, the fastest lap goes to Mike, but Mike's going to lose out quite a bit due to that penalty.
Yeah, but I think now you're not really going to see a fast lap.
I think he's going to drop down to 10th. He's going to drop down to 10th.
Yeah, you're not. Because I think it's going to be hard to see a fast lap now because these guys are racing so hard and they're non-compromised lines. So it's going to be difficult to see a fast lap being broken. But it may happen from a guy further back who's not in a battle. So I think fast lap.
Rich, maybe, or Furious.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Not long to go then, as we're seeing DRS enabled, and this could be. I think we've got Mercedes versus Aston versus. Well, Williams versus Mercedes. Casper would want to be within this lot, and Casper was absolutely frustrated that he had that 3-second time penalty to his name.
Craggy is going to go for the lead here. He's going to go for it.
Yeah, he's going to take the lead. Very lovely stuff from Craggy down the inside.
Brakes late. Senna as a half spin.
That was a half spin. No damage, but he lost a place for a bit.
Senna ghosted, which I sort of saved Lakitu's
I think
bacon.
if Senna was to report it, it would only be 3 seconds, but I don't think he will report that because he hardly lost any time. So I think he'll be okay. He didn't lose any places either, which was lucky. So it would be, I think, a racing incident because you haven't lost any places.
He can go out of it here. Here we go.
I think this is going to get very spicy over the last few laps. I think this could be Lakitu's for the taking. He's on the fresher rubber. No, not the fresher rubber. The better rubber. As Jonas Albrecht gets past Ivan Mike for 8th.
Yeah, good move that for him, to be honest. There's Mike. There's go side by side for the S's actually. Mike's not giving this up, but it's going to have to now.
Oh, this is a good fight for Mike, to be fair.
Yeah, he's probably going to drop out the points, but he's showing some good racecraft and that safety car.
I'm just trying to see. So Lukey will finish 9th and Rich will finish 10th. So he'll be 11th for Mike, which will be his best result.
Craggy bumped Senna's DRS. Not quite, but almost did. And now Lakitu is going to have a rabbit.
I know what Senna's doing. I know. What's happened to Casper?
I don't know, he's dropped down. He must have the car spin somewhere. He's dropped way down. He must have had a screen freeze. He must have had a screen freeze on the PC. Dropped to 11th.
Yeah, he's dropped to 11th. Oh my goodness.
Final lap. It's looking good for Craig at the moment. It's looking good for
Jonas
him as Jonas gets a penalty. So, wow, so that's actually battle now between Mike and Jonas.
Lukey's going to jump up to 7th.
Yeah, Lukey normally wants to get the penalties, but he's actually one that's been kept it clean, so that's interesting.
Yeah, he's going to get up to 7th as Lukey gets past Casper, but the most important thing we're going to see is a battle for the win here. We're on the final lap of this race at the P1 tier, and I have to say, this is how you go racing on those soft compounded tyres. Not too aggressive, making sure you show respectful racing, and that is very great to see. It helps that the drivers had a few more laps to get acclimatised with those soft compounded tyres. Can Lakitu get this race win? Can Marco? Pretty much anyone in his top 6 could get this race win here, as Jonas did get past Ivan Mike once again here. Lukey can't afford to lose any more time because otherwise he would only gain a few places. But here we go then. We're about to go through turns 13 and 14. I think Lakitu's in a very good place. What would Craggy do? I think Craggy would want to hold on to this race win, but he knows
Lakitu's had a big slide.
Lakitu's had a big slide. Here we come then. Final back straight then. They're coming in for one final time. Who is going to win this race? You can see battles happening between Jonas, Mike, and Curry. Curry goes up the inside into 8th. Axelot trying to get past as well. So Axelot going to get past to 8. But here we go then. Has always been the bridesmaid, but never the bride. But tonight, he has been the bride. Craggy finally wins in One Hot Racing in the feature race. Senna takes home 2nd. Lakitu 3rd. I think I'm about to say to Craggy, that was about time. Bravo! You
Yeah.
are a winner in One Hub Racing.
He had the pace at the end there. He almost broke DRS 2 laps ago. Yeah, he had the pace there. Senna, he managed to soft tire very well at the end there. Fully deserved race win. Senna was second place, so not a bad damage invitation for him. Only to lose a handful of points in that race. So yeah, I think Senna will be happy at second, but Craggy will be delighted at winning the race.
Extend his championship lead by a bit more, actually, because of course he did well in the sprint and Senna didn't, but there we go. So here we go then. So here's your results, your unofficial results, of course, until the stewards, but I don't think there's going to be many stewards reports in this tier. That makes a change, doesn't it? It's been generally very clean racing from all drivers. So we got Craggy from Senna, the Q2, Marco, Entity's had a good result, Callum, Jonas, Lukey, Curry, and Mike. Then we got Rich Axelot in 12th, and then Casper in 13th. He will be classified. Furious 14th. Retirements are Jason and O'Sheen. We now got to pick our driver of the day, and Nick said if he had money he would bet on Craggy winning tonight. I wasn't going to say it because I was worried I would jinx myself, but luckily I didn't say much and Craggy won, so there we go. But you're the guest tonight, Jamie. Who would you give your driver of the day to and your question?
Oh, it's hard, man, because a lot of really good contenders out there. Oh, it's so difficult. I think, I'm gonna go out the massive box here. Forget the top 10 and fastest lap. I'm gonna go for Ivor with Mike because I think his pace in that race was amazing. And the safety car ruined him a top 6 finish. So I'm gonna say to him, well done, mate. Good result, good pace, good strategy. Are you gonna join the Welsh gang who hate safety cars?
Yeah, actually no. Are you gonna join the almighty gang who hates safety cars? Because I hate safety cars as well. My drive of the day, because you've gone for Mike, I'm gonna go for the opposite. I'm gonna go for someone who's finally got his first race win in One Hub. I'm going to go with Craggy. And my question is, it's about time you got this race win. Massive congratulations. Do you think you'll get even more race wins this season and avoid finishing second all the time? So that is my question.
That's a good question.
I think it's a relief that Craggy. I think it's a good result for the league as well, because I think quite a lot of people wanted Craggy to win this one. So yeah. Really good from Craggy, and some good championship points on the board. So next week, we're not racing because it's Mother's Day. I'm planning to take my mum out for Mother's Day, so I wouldn't be here anyway. But we'll be back on the 6th of April as we head to the Japanese Grand Prix, as we see the final 5 races of the calendar. Japan, it should be an interesting one, a track which is really hard to overtake. Still plenty of drivers, though, Jamie, who have yet to take their engine penalties. So could we see some engine penalties being taken in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, I think there will be. Yeah, I think there's a possibility of that. As you say, I've got a decision to make on engine penalties, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going to take it yet, but I'll do a bit of testing round. Drivers should do a bit of testing round, see what the pace like. And I feel like for Suzuka, the only problem with taking Suzuka is that it's not the easy to take on, and there's only
unless
one
you're
DRS
good
on
at
Suzuka,
overtaking.
so it'd be a totally different type of race to China, I predict, because DRS will not really be in play as much as it is here.
Yeah, I think there's only one DRS straight, isn't it? I think I'm trying to remember where it is, but
pit straight, and it's a pit straight.
So I think it's going to come down to strategy more than anything, and for anyone that can make
one spreads the cars out. So yeah,
set to one spreads the cars out, and you're for good and yeses, it's going to work out wonders for you. So it's going to be interesting. Make sure you join us for the final 5 races of the season. This could be make or break for our championship contenders, because we've seen people make mistakes, we've seen people work wonders. We'll find out in 2 weeks' time who's going to do what. I've been Jess Ball. Thank you, Jamie, for joining me in the commentary box. We've both been in such bad moods, but I think this has cheered it up ever so slightly, which is always great news. And thank you for not leaving me on my own.
okay, it's fine.
Right, here we go then. We're about to end the stream. Mike and Colin will catch you in 2 weeks' time at 5 o'clock for Japan. J. Cole hopefully will be back if his car gets fixed for the Japanese Grand Prix with myself on the 6th of April. Join us then. Will we see a new winner again? Or will we see the two championship contenders keep fighting? We'll have to find out. Brilliant racing from all the P1 tier. They should be very proud of themselves. Take care. Bye-bye.